And before we start, I recently published my first written novel onto Amazon, so if you want to check it out, the link will be in the description below. Stay after for more details. Okay, so, I know it's been a cool minute since I've uploaded on this channel, and I feel like every time I come back I have to keep apologizing for taking so long to upload another video. But now I think I found a good pacing, a good rhythm, and a good editing technique that I can use to get videos out more consistently. So with that being said, I just want to keep the intro short, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So initially when I started writing the script for this video, I absolutely hated Mortal Kombat 1. But since then, and that was back in September, I've learned to really tolerate Mortal Kombat 1. Don't get me wrong, this game is far from good. I still consider it to be one of the worst Mortal Kombat installments. And dare I say it might be one of the most controversial as well. This game to me is sort of a mixture between good and bad. I do think this is one of the most rushed and lazy installments of the Mortal Kombat series, but a part of me doesn't want to blame NetherRealm for it. Because from the news that I've seen from this game and what it was originally supposed to be, makes it seem like the companies that were in charge of it rushed the studio to put it out. But again, like I said, this game is a mixture between good and bad. So of course there are some redeeming factors. So let's get into why I think Mortal Kombat 1 is a reinvented disaster. So I don't want to start off this video by completely chewing this game out. So let's start off by talking about the things that I like about this game. Spoiler alert, it's not a lot. I think one thing about this game that I continuously enjoy seeing are the character designs. I really love how this game completely reinvented these characters and simplified their designs. I think my favorite design out of all of them is Raiden. I really enjoy the young look to him. I also really love Reptile's design as well, especially because they actually put a mixture between both of his designs, if that makes sense. Because in the original games, he was a human and then was soon invigorated into a reptile humanoid character. And now in Mortal Kombat 1, he's both. Another thing I like about this game is the reinvented universe. I really do like how Sub-Zero and Scorpion are actual brothers now. Instead of like 10-year-old me just thinking that, even though it was never confirmed. It was always a misconception between people who were fans of Mortal Kombat that thought Sub-Zero and Scorpion were brothers, and I think it was really cool to see it become a reality. As for another thing I like, oh my god, that was it. Okay, shoot, I guess let's talk about the things I didn't like. And I'm honestly not gonna lie to you guys, it's damn near the entire game. I could have said that I liked the story. It does have its moments, but it does fall flat towards the end, and I feel like all around it could have been better. The new Invasions mode is excruciatingly boring. I can't find a resolve to actually play it. Honestly, now that I think about it, this game has no content whatsoever. Sure, there's towers. They're fun for like 2 hours before they become repetitive. And sure, there's the online mode. Good God, the online mode. Actually, hang on. I'm going all over the place right now. Let's talk about the first thing that actually pushed me away from this game, which was the presentation. You know, presentation is the most important concept when it comes to wanting to sell a product. If you want people to purchase your game, movie, or book, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you gotta have a good presentation that grabs the consumer's attention and shows them that they spent their money well. MK1 does like one of those things right. Like, Mortal Kombat 1 is the first NetherRealm fighting game for next-gen consoles. Its whole gimmick is starting anew, or a new beginning. So tell me this, why the hell does it still look like Mortal Kombat 11? The thing I really loved about the recent Mortal Kombat games was their innovation, especially when it came to visuals. From the rebooted timeline from Armageddon, you could see every little change the developers made throughout each game. MKX took MK9 and darkened the colors and implemented a run button and had more fluid combos. MK11 took MKX and completely changed the game around, adding a comeback mechanic like crushing blows, which would give players a satisfying win or people who were falling behind a quick comeback, a defense mechanic that caused players to strategize and plan how they would use their gauge, an absolutely amazing customization feature that allowed players to customize their favorite fighter, and a live updated tower mode that somehow felt grindy. I still don't know what people mean by that, but it still gave players something to do. MK1 took MK11 and added the stupid augment mechanic no one liked and expanded on it. Personally, I feel as if MK1 should have been a new approach to the Mortal Kombat games. Maybe like a 3D For Honor type of arena fighter that actually dwells into the combat of Mortal Kombat. Like, they preach that this game is a new beginning and even call it MK1, assuming this is a complete reboot of the series and your first next-gen fighting game. Why not change the fighting mechanics? End your 2D combo-based fighter with a trilogy of games and make this one new. To be honest, I genuinely feel like Mortal Kombat 1 had no sort of significant changes that made it different from MK11. This game kind of just feels like a expansion, almost like a massive update that you would install for the game. And I know what you're thinking, but Tylen, the game looks brighter, it feels faster, they're cameos now. Well, the change of color is not what I mean by significance. You just can't change the visuals of a game and call it a day. Like, I can pee in a jar and call it lemonade, or wherever the hell that lady said in Batman vs Superman. And also, I feel like the faster combos and movement completely ruined, again, the presentation of the game. Every combo that I keep seeing on this game leads to a cluster of just enhanced move and cameo fighters. Now hang on, don't get me wrong, some of them are pretty cool, like Scorpion's air spear combo, General Shao's combo where he throws you into the axe, Johnny Cage's star power combo, though that one just looks like spamming. But still, most of the combos are extremely ugly. Knee, uppercut, air kick, cartwheel kick, air kick, cartwheel kick. Like, dude, though Mortal Kombat 1 was slower, at least the combos were well thought out and it actually looked good to execute. Not to mention the fatal blow system. I don't think you can implement this system again where you get rid of the crushing blows and defense mechanics. It's no longer a comeback mechanic like it was in MK11. Not to mention the over-the-top battle cries from Injustice. There's no longer the element of surprise. Another big problem that I have with this game are the cameos. I feel like they're just the worst thing that could have been added to this game. This mechanic is just a half-baked, half-assed attempt of a 2v2 game. And it kind of brings up the question, why is this just not a 2v2 fighter? Now, my whole gripe with this game and what pushed me away from the start was the cameo system. Now, the first thing I noticed is that they appear in both your intro cutscene and your victory cutscene. Now, hypothetically speaking, if this was a 2v2 fighter, I would have understood or at least been immersed as to why they're there. But that's not what Mortal Kombat 1 is. The cameos spend most of the game running around in the background like a little kid. They have no dialogue and never interact with the person you're playing as. Like, what the hell are they supposed to be? Using tag team based elements without making this a full tag team 2v2 fighter is just lazy to me. Now, if you use a forward grab, your cameo fighter will come out and help you. Now again, if this was a 2v2 fighter and you were able to switch to your cameo, this would make this feel more inclusive to the dynamic between you and that cameo fighter. Also, I think it would be dope to continuously alternate your characters like that. Another thing that just feels out of place for me is that your cameo can mess up your combo. Like, what the hell? I thought they were teammates. Now, not only do they look like co-workers running around like little kids, but they look like screw-ups as well. Not to mention, if you're hit by your cameo mid-combo, you can get back up and finish the combo. So now you gotta think, what's the point of them hitting you? You can honestly tell this mechanic wasn't well thought through because throughout the story, you either don't have a cameo, have a character that's not even a cameo to begin with, or have an elemental cameo. You see, let's look at a tag assist based fighter that perfectly captures the dynamic of a team based game. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Not only am I allowed to play as each character that assists me within the game, but I'm also able to switch between them. This makes my team feel like they actually have a dynamic, like each of them is playing a role for me to win. Not to mention that they share dialogue. Also, at the end of the match, you can see them battle damage, and again, gives me that further immersion that they all did their part. And I know what you're about to say, Tylen, this isn't a tag team game. This isn't like FighterZ. Then what is it? The first time I made a comment about how bad this cameo system was, I had people in my comment section saying that I've never played an assist-based game before. I swear, Mortal Kombat defenders love eating up mediocrity. If I wanted to make a crappy game and still know that people would like it, all I'd have to do was slap a classic look onto a certain character and have Sub-Zero rip someone's head off their body. Okay, going back on my point about the game's presentation, I want to talk about the game's fatalities. Which, you know, is the whole reason why Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat. And with that being said, these are probably some of the worst fatalities within the franchise. they kind of feel like an afterthought. Now before you start, I really like Sub-Zero's Ninja Scroll fatality. Some people may think that one sucks, but you gotta understand what it's referencing in order to like it. Both Johnny Cage's, Liu Kang's, and Gears' fatalities are some of the best the game has to offer. Shout out to Cyrax's Nuke fatality, Reptile's Acid Reflux fatality, and Sadel's Who's Your Queen fatality. But again, that's like 6 actual characters out of the 22. Like I said before, the fatalities in this game just feel like an afterthought. Some of the characters are just getting sliced in half. Whoop-de-doo. Decapitated. Amazing! And exploding body parts. Yippee. The fatalities in past Mortal Kombat games were just some of the best. It was essentially just body horror. There was just something chilling about seeing Ermac pull his opponent's intestines out from their mouth and nose. Something sickening about seeing Kotal Khan turn into a panther and chow down on his opponent's heart. And the thing that made them so unsettlingly grimy and downright awesome was how the camera would pan on the dead body, or how in MK11 where it would essentially freeze on the final blow. MK1 comes around and the camera moves away from the fatal to focus on the characters celebrating their victory. Okay. Not to mention how utterly awkward and far away the character is from the camera. But don't worry, MK1 and Bland go together like peanut butter and jelly. Let's talk about the story, specifically the characters of the story. Almost every character in this game is extremely one-dimensional. There's awesome backstories to many characters like Baraka, Ashura, and that's mostly it. And there's also super cool concepts that are continuously swept under the rug. Both Sub-Zero and Scorpion being part of the Lin Kuei, swept. Melina's Tarkatan disease, swept. There is an extremely cool dialogue scene that's shown in the first gameplay trailer where Melina accuses Kitana of taking her throne.
I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
Which is mentioned in the story, but again, it's swept. For a game that's described as a new beginning, you really didn't capitalize on what could have made this game feel like something new. Every character has one personality trait, I swear. Raiden is humble, Sub-Zero is bad, Smoke is loyal, Liu Kang is noble, Shang Tsung is bad, General Shao is bad, Raiko is bad. The only character that has a smidget of development are Johnny Cage and Kenshi. They attempt to give Reptile some sort of dynamic and relatability by mentioning his family, but that's all he mentions, just his family. Like, does he have a wife? Does he have a daughter? A son? Is it his mom? His dad? Like, how am I supposed to relate or even care about this man if he's not even mentioning who the hell his family is? And even then, when Shang Tsung eventually kills them, spoiler alert, he acts as if it's an inconvenience. The Mortal Kombat tournament, which is hyped up within the trailer, is literally thrown out in one chapter where Raiden completely decimates all of Outworld's champions. Like, hello? And they never explain how Raiden becomes such a good fighter. Sure, he was training with the monks, but so was Kung Lao, so was Johnny Cage, so was Kenshi. They never explain what Liu Kang sees in Raiden in order for him to become a champion, and sure, you can argue Liu is doing the same thing that Raiden did to him when he was in Raiden's position in the old timeline, but why not mention or show us that? Again, it's still swept under the rug in meaningless dialogue. And they never explain how Liu transfers his powers into the amulet to give to Raiden. Why not, I don't know, just have Liu give his powers to Raiden directly? Have a callback to MK11 or something, I don't know. Speaking of the story, these NetherRealm paywalls have to stop. One main thing that really annoyed me while playing the story was the fact that Quan Chi, Ermac, and Shang Tsung are in the story, but you have to pay in order to play as them. Shang Tsung and Quan Chi literally have a chapter in the story. I can literally play as Shang Tsung in the story, dude. Why is he a pre-order bonus? If Ermac and Quan Chi are already in the story, why are we wasting 2 DLC slots for them? Now, I understand they may not be finished, but that doesn't make it right to have me pay for characters that are, again, already in the game. They should at the least be included in a free update because, again, they're in the game. They're essentially included in that initial $70 that I paid for in order to play this. And honestly, Shang Tsung should have been the last person you unlock in the roster, not Havik. Havik is insignificant when it comes to the story. He does absolutely nothing. Quan Chi and Shang Tsung are the final bosses of the game, and you're telling me I have to pay for both of them? It's completely scummy and unacceptable if you ask me. Stop including DLC characters within your original launch edition story. It doesn't make any sense. The only time it did was with Aftermath, and that's because I had to pay for the expansion along with the characters. Speaking of paying, why is NetherRealm charging $70 for the Nintendo Switch version of the game? Like, dude, this looks terrible. Who rendered and coded this, man? Oh my god. And then test played it and then was like, oh yeah, that'll do. That's just despicable, man. Damn near criminal. Like, how in the world is this even legal? And you're telling me you were able to make a port for the Switch, which is a notoriously inferior console to PlayStation and Xbox, but no port for the last gen consoles? Bro, make it make sense. Mortal Kombat 1 could have been something great. A new approach to the Mortal Kombat franchise, but it's sadly bland and forgetful. And I personally don't think this game is going to age well, especially with games like Street Fighter 6 and soon Tekken 8 and Tenkaichi 4 dominating the fighting game genre. This game was a poor attempt to play catch up with the other fighting games, and you can tell. And honestly, from the looks of it, it looks like it was supposed to be Injustice 3. The clashing, the screaming finisher, the crappy mechanic that wasn't yet perfected. NetherRealm needs to get their priorities straight. And I'm personally glad I'm not the only one that thinks this either. Check out some of these comments. Didn't mention, and these are from their latest trailer, which showcases Season 3 of Invasions. This one says, I'll never buy this again. $100 for the game and I have to buy $9.99 fatalities and outfits. Bleh, bleh. We got 3 bad ones here. This one says, fix your game. Server's been down for an hour. This one says, the most boring single player content I've experienced. Skins are also not worth to get. And this final one says, how is it that y'all manage to always have maintenance problems when a new season comes out? Fix y'all's updates. This one says, worst game I've ever played. They changed everything, especially the characters' faces, the absence of many characters, terrible story, characters that returned should have remained missing. Unfortunately, the person is forced to choose the cameo. This game is a disappointment. Good God. Use a comma next time. This one says, I just don't have the interest with this like I did with MK11. And this last one says, skins look boring. Almost like you just rendered it in different colors. Hang on, one more. A little disappointed with this game. I regret buying the premium edition. And it's obvious I'm not the only one that feels this type of way about this game. There's literally no innovation. Even the finishers regress back to X-rays, which personally makes my head hurt looking at them. And also takes me out of the fight. The blood-driven fatal blows are so much better. But anyways, I really wanted to like this game. But nope, just another example of corporate greed and rush garbage. Just save your money for Tekken 8. And that was why I think Mortal Kombat 1 is a reinvented disaster. And I hope that was one hell of a way to reintroduce myself back to YouTube. Because now starting in 2024, I want to make it a goal to at least put out one video every month. And again, like I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, I found some new editing tactics that make videos easier to be published and put out easier, if that makes sense. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you enjoying Mortal Kombat 1? Again, like I said, I tolerate it. I don't necessarily like it. I don't hate it. It's just there. And I also want to use this time to tell you guys about my book, Hellscape Trigger. If you guys are a fan of my how to fix videos that I've done on here, you're gonna love this. A completely original story written by me. And to kind of give you a synopsis of the book in the simplest terms possible, it's about a boy. He's half demon. He's trying to save the world from a demon apocalypse. But if you guys want to check it out, that would mean a lot to me. The link will be in the description below. You can get it off of Amazon. And if you guys want to know where I've been since July, I was working on getting this out. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you subscribe or you'll have to pay $100 in microtransactions to play as Homelander. And nobody likes that. But anyways, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.